Hi there, my name is Cindy Lee and I'm from Studio 4 Media. And I thought I'd just take a few minutes today to have a quick chat to everyone about what they might be able to do to enhance their appearance on Zoom calls. So I've been participating in Zoom calls for the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed that there's a lot of people hiding in the shadows. And I think if you're trying to meet with people that you're trying to impress, whether it be clients, whether it be your colleagues, or whether it be a networking group that you're working with, you want to make sure that you're presenting yourself in the best light. And I think being in the shadows, that's not really communicating what you want to in terms of who you are. You wouldn't be presenting yourself that way if you were out in person. So let's have a look and see what we can do to help fix this for you. So what I would recommend is when you're setting up your workstation, just and ready for a Zoom call. Now, so when you're working in your office, the way that you work in your office, you might just want to adjust it for the Zoom call. So if you've got a laptop, pick it up, move it around. If you've got a computer, just move the desk a little bit. What you want to do is you want to get some light in front of your face. So you don't want the light coming from behind you. You want it coming at you. So if the light's coming behind you, you are definitely going to be in the shadows. So there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can use natural light. You can put yourself in front of a window. So turn everything around so the window is right behind your computer, so that light's coming in on your face. Or you can use a lamp, or I'm really lucky because I actually have a Luvo light, which I use professionally for the studio, and that's what I'm using today. What I might do is I'll quickly turn that off for you for a second so as you can see what that would look like without the Luvo light. Bear in mind, I am in front of a window at the moment. So I do have a window right there. And so the light still comes onto my face, but whether the illumination is enough, well, I'm thinking at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it's not great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the plug on the Luvo light so as you can see the effect of that. So there we go. Ooh, I'm a green gremlin and it's very dark. Okay, so if I was to do the other thing, which is switch on the above light, you'll see what will happen to the shadows underneath. Well, one, it's not a terrible lot of light, and two, look at all these dark shadows underneath my eyes. So that's not something that we really want to. I've become the shadow person on the current affairs. Okay, so that's better. I've switched my light back on. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is angle and then thirdly, distance. Now, I think angle and distance go hand in hand with each other because we're talking about perspective. So what you'll notice is that the camera, I've got positioned a little bit higher than my eyes. What that means, it's the same way that people take selfies, in terms that anything that is closer to the camera is actually going to look bigger. So by bringing the camera above you, it makes your eyes bigger. Whereas if you were lower, what would actually happen is you'd end up photographing up underneath the nose and seeing, you know, all sorts of weird stuff in people's nose, and making your chin look much wider as well. So that's to do with angle. So I recommend having your monitor in an angle that is actually sort of tipping down almost to your eyes. My niece and nephew are terrible when I'm trying to Zoom with them. They've always got the computer tipped like this, and then this is how they talk to me in the Zoom chat. Okay. And then I'm always like, guys, tip the angle down. See, look at that. That's even more complimentary. So yeah, so angle can make a huge difference. Also distance. Now, what you'll notice is that I am not right in your face. If I'm doing that, sorry, I always want to know where to look for this camera. What you'll notice is that you're seeing all sorts of lines and very close, and I'm very dominating when I'm right in there. So I would only recommend doing that if you were the presenter and you really wanting to make a presence and really be in there for people. But if you're just participating in a meeting, I just suggest taking a sit back and just having good posture the whole time and just sitting there and listening. So or contributing. You can contribute. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about, now that we've spoken about angle and distance and how that plays on your perspective, is about your background. Now, I have seen way more information about people that I know through these Zoom calls that I really didn't want to know. Like, I didn't want to see their washing in washing baskets behind them, and I didn't want to see boxes of stuff spilling out. And yeah, I think you have to be really careful about how you're setting up your camera and what you're going to have in the background. I have been displaced at the moment. I'm not in my office. I'm not in my studio. I stopped working from the studio a couple of weeks ago and came home to work from home, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll just go and work up in our office upstairs. And I got kicked out of there pretty quickly as soon as the kids started doing homeschooling. So I am now literally right, like almost in the kitchen. But you wouldn't know that, like the way that I've actually tipped everything around, and I'll take a photo to show you. But if I didn't have this tipped in the right way, what you would see is my kitchen behind, which at the moment it's quite tidy, but after the kids have gone and raided it, definitely not. And I've been caught by surprise when I had my computer turned the other way, because normally it sits differently here in this space, and I've quickly had to go and jump on and speak to someone. And then the other thing that you would see is my dog lying on the couch, which is just not necessary. You know, like, we're here for a professional reason. Let's try and make it as professional as possible. So have a think about your background. Keep it nice and simple. It doesn't mean that you can't have things behind you. Today I've got some books behind me. I've got a few of my favorite things. You know, I've got my oil burner there. I've got some of my favorite books, my book on modern architecture, my book on photography. You know, like, I've got little hints there, because let's face it, when we're sitting in these Zoom chats and we're getting a little bit distracted, I'm sort of checking out, what do you got on your shelf? What books are they? So just be mindful. Be very mindful about what you're putting behind you. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about, number 5 on the list, is actually headphones. So I would strongly recommend using headphones. During this presentation today, there's nothing I can do about it. I have a dog, I have children, and I hopefully have mitigated some of that noise through using headphones. So I would strongly recommend doing that and not using your camera, microphone and audio, and that way too, you know, less impact on the others in your household as well. Anyway, I hope that this presentation has come in a little bit handy. I have filmed this today using Zoom on my Apple computer. I haven't used any fancy cameras. I haven't used anything other than my earpods, this camera, and the Luvo light. Now, just the thing about the Luvo light, that one is a ring light. It's circular. I'll put a picture up on there for you. It's a great light. Normally it would be set up so that the camera or the iPhone sits inside of the ring. Tonight I have actually set it up so it's sitting at around about 2 o'clock in my eyes. So it's off on an angle, and it's above me. So that is probably one of the more complementary lighting situation setups that you can have, because it puts a little bit of a shadow underneath the chin, and it gives you a little bit of contour as well, but it does eliminate like under the eyes. You saw when the light wasn't on just how flattering that was. So that's a Luvo light, but you can go to Bunnings and you can pick up some LED lights from Bunnings, and you can set them up around your camera, your computer as well. So, and the more light you have, the more light you have, you know, you can get to a point that you overexpose yourself with light. So, but like you can get the Batwing lights, which are a camping light, which is an LED. There's another one that they sell, which is like a lightsaber. That's actually quite a good one, and you can just put that horizontally across the top. So there's lots of really affordable options in terms of lighting your Zoom call. Anyway, happy confinement, everyone. I hope you're super productive during this time and you get to tick all of those things off your list that you've wanted to do for ages. For me, I always say I wish I had a cloning machine, and then I realized if I had a cloning machine, I'd just make myself busier. So this is actually an opportunity I see. So I now have a team at my disposal which gets to do the stuff that I want to get done instead of just working on client work. So we're really going to be working on our business, not as much in the business as we always do. So I hope that's the same for you, and then that you can really push forward in this time, and that this becomes an opportunity for you instead of a disadvantage. Take care, guys. Bye.